finally, on the Garden City News, certainly I have a lot of comments about that, because when my property was in the newspaper for building design and review recently, we're putting in a wheelchair ramp and all that. My wife's getting ready to ditch me out there. But anyway, the point is, there's communication. And there's such a volume of communication through the Garden City News. I don't want you to take that lightly. There's so much invested in something that's been a part of our lives that that would be a shame if you just said that that's going to go to Garden City Life, because then my neighbor wouldn't know that my property, he read it in the paper. And communication is critical. When you have communication and we're on the same page, things are better. When we're not, things get diminished. And if you look at the volume of how many people get the Garden City News versus Garden City Life, Garden City Life is very hard to get an article in. Garden City News is simple. So you're looking at something that is, is streamlined the process and makes it so that we can put a Western Property Owners Association meeting in what we're doing and letting the East know, whatever, that we're doing something new, so they know. But it's all there in the Garden City News. Garden City Life, I don't see it. I don't get it. It's not the same thing. And I just want to throw you one quote from Peggy Noonan, who was the best speechwriter ever. She said, "I should say here, because some in Washington like to dream up ways to control the internet, that we don't need to control free speech. We need to control ourselves." And Peggy Noonan was very great speechwriter for Reagan, another Democrat, so I wrote about Reagan. But he was really good, and communication is one where you don't detract, don't take away, because then you're going to get into catch-22, and that book doesn't end over there. So please take my comments apart, keep going with the Garden City News as your official newspaper, and I think that's it. Any questions?
My name is George Salem. I'd just like to follow up on previous comments about Garden City Life. And the first question is, why are we doing this? We're shifting from the New York Times to the Daily News, something like that. It's like from a major paper to a minor paper. Why are we doing this? Do we have an argument, a disagreement, major disagreement with the Garden City News?
We're taking comments.
We're
taking comments.
You can't answer that question?
We don't usually comment. We don't usually respond to comments.
Okay, I think when you write this up in the newspaper, you should mention the circulation of each newspaper. The Garden City Life has about 1/3 or 1/4 of the circulation of the Garden City News. So by definition, you're reducing the communication with the residents by making this change. And my last comment on that would be that you should also state, when you explain this to the residents, what are the things that Garden City News wasn't doing that Garden City Life might do for us? In other words, and what, as a corollary to that, what is that Garden City News? I forget it. That ends that comment. I just want to say something.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Trustees. My name is Peter Dolan, 111 Tree Valley Avenue. I just want to echo the comments that Mr. Kelly and Mr. Salem made about changing the official designation of our newspaper from the Garden City News to Garden City Life for the same reasons they mentioned before. It would seem to me you'd want the paper to get to the majority of the residents in Garden City, and you're not going to do that with the Garden City Life if you're changing the designation to them. So I don't want to comment any further. My opinion is that we should keep the official designation as the Garden City. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Come on up.
I'm close. My legs are weak. All right, my name is, can you hear me?
Yes.
I have a hearing problem, so I never know how loud I speak. My wife yells at me. All right, I want to talk a little bit and pick up on what has been said about the Garden City News, all right?
Tom, can you just give us your name?
Thomas Ledbury, 57 First Street.
Okay,
I
thank you.
remember that, okay, sorry about that, I
That's okay.
just got into it. But for those who know or don't know, the Garden City News has been the official newspaper of Garden City for at least 50 years. Peter would probably acknowledge that, I worked for this village then, 50 years. I was surprised to see this, I was even more surprised to see this in January, considering that the Garden City News was appointed as the official newspaper of Garden City at the organizing meeting in April, as it has been done for the last previous 50 years. And we're 2.5 months away from April, where the organizing meeting takes place, and we will have a new mayor, he or she or whatever, who will have the right, the power to appoint the official newspaper.
You did hear the change that we made, that the bottom line is this is not being changed as of tonight. What happens is both papers will receive all the information, and then what happens is on April 8th, it's our intention then to then make a change. So between now and April 8th, which would be the annual period, which is exactly your point.
And that's up to the board, as you well know.
Okay, so let me just, you just changed that tonight, okay? When I came here and I read the agenda, it says
I agree,
effective.
but you
So
were
that's
here,
what
we
we-
told
I got that.
it was
Okay.
amended.
All right, I'm space
And
things.
I'm just trying to put things in context.
Sure.
All right, so you've amended it and you moved it to the end, but still, it's kind of shocking that you would even think to put it on the calendar in the middle of 9.5 months, which may lead me to a suspicion, only a suspicion, or hypothesis that maybe legally, when that appointment was occurred, as a designee of the official newspaper, that appointment had to continue until April.
Mr. Lindbergh, I respect you, you're gonna waste your 4 minutes on something that doesn't,
Okay,
that
let's
doesn't
move
pertain
on.
anymore.
Let's move on to a critical point. It says legal notices. Now, the Garden City News carries multiple information about the village activities. We have mayor's column, we have the library, we have all those ancillaries, departments and services that people pick up the newspaper and read it. Is that changing? Will that not be in the Garden City News going forward?
Probably not.
I'm sorry?
Probably not.
After-
Probably not. We'll have to
Okay,
decide.
all right, now, let me ask you this.
When I joined the board, we actually used both papers all the time.
Please, I'm
And
just.
I believe when you were
I'm
on
gonna
the board,
stay on
they
the
did too.
agenda item, that's all, I just want to Garden City.
I understand.
Okay, so, all right, don't subtract my time, I'm just, want to stay focused. So now, from this night, going forward to April, will the Garden City News carry the information
Yes.
that it previously
Yes,
carried?
yes.
So all the people, everybody can walk out of here tonight
Yes.
and not realize that next Friday or the Friday after, we're gonna pick up the paper
Yes.
and not see that.
Yes.
So, all right, so now you're gonna carry it, all right, for an interim period. But as of
April
the
8th.
appointment, well, if it is not otherwise changed by the successive mayor,
And the board.
Board.
and what?
And the board.
Well, and the board, yeah, but I mean,
Don't poo-poo, there's a
no,
board.
please, don't disrespect them, but it's a mayor's appointment, and the board has then the opportunity to change the mayor's appointment. I don't know what the vote is, Peter, but you know better than I, you were the mayor at the time. So, all right, so from now to the next organizing meeting, residents of this village will be able to pick up the paper, and it'll be the same as it was before.
No change.
But come that date, based on this, unless, if it's followed by the board or otherwise, that means the Garden City News is out, correct?
Correct.
Now, going to the point that these gentlemen have made, you don't want to answer the question, okay, I got that. But the reality is people are thinking about what the answer is. What shocking thing did the Garden City News do to warrant this change in the, starting at this board meeting, and now you postponed it to April? There's something that's gone on that doesn't seem to meet the eye. We've been doing this for 50 years. It was an open, I don't know, did they fail to publish a legal notice on time? Did they do something that made a legal obligation against you? What is it? Nobody knows. shocking, but all right, it's just, thank you for.
Running out of
at
time.
least the tip, I got that. Thank you for completing or allowing the Garden City News to function for the next 2 months, because, frankly, you offered no notice to the public. It was just simply on the agenda that it was over, and I think the public, frankly, should be very disappointed in you taking that action initially. And thank you, though, for not making it effective tonight. So we'll be able to revisit this between now and then. And it would be interesting to hear from the candidates that are running, I don't know who the new ones are or not, whether they want to continue the Garden City News to serve this village as it has so faithfully served it. It's almost like, where do I go get my news? Grab the Garden City
about
News.
10 seconds.
Thank you, I got
Thank you.
10 seconds.
Thank you.
Kathleen Noro, 4 Marijuana Avenue. I hate to stand up here and beat a dead horse. I used to have subscriptions to both the Life and the News. And the reason I got rid of my subscription to the Life is that a good portion of the information in the Life I could read in Newsday, but a few days beforehand. And my concern now is if we are switching to the Life, or the possibility of going to the Life, is that going to continue, that it's not going to be strictly a Garden City newspaper? Are we still going to read a lot of information about the town of North Hempstead, the town of Oyster Bay? I can get all this in Newsday and get it more promptly. So I would like to ask you perhaps to reconsider your decision, or the possibility of your decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Gall, Kathy Noro, regarding the Garden City News and the Garden City Life. I'm disappointed that you, the trustees, that you have not explained why you're switching. With many of these items on this agenda, you explain why you do something. For example, Mayor Gall, the attorney, I'm sorry, Peter B. explained that the formal agenda item A1 is a protective measure. You explained why. And for many other things here, you explain why you do something. You didn't explain why you are switching from the Garden City News to the Garden City Life, and I'm really flabbergasted that you're considering this. I do get a subscription to both newspapers, and I'm really disappointed in the Garden City Life. If you look at it from last spring and summer, there were more articles about Stewart Manor than there were about Garden City. There are also a lot of mistakes in the Garden City Life, I'm sorry to say. I mean, they had a picture last year of the Nassau County legislator, Laura Schaefer. They called her a New York State Assemblyman. You say, well, we all make mistakes. This was on the front page of the paper. Also, as Trustee Lamberti said, it's important, it has a much lower circulation, so fewer people are going to get information, and that concerns me. Look at the letters to the editor. There are more letters to the editor in the Garden City News in 1 month than there are in the Garden City Life in an entire year. Since you won't tell us why, this leads many of us to speculate why. And I'm wondering why, if the reason might be that in November or December, the editor of the Garden City News said there should be a poll of residents about the expenses at St. Paul. And I'm wondering, frankly, if you're having a temper tantrum. Since the editor is saying this, then okay, then we'll take our business elsewhere. I hope that's not the reason, but I'm very disappointed in your change of newspapers.